So once you have some cryptocurrency on your accounts or some fiat currency on your accounts, you can actually trade in and out of the market using two different mechanisms. Now, remember the order book that I mentioned. Okay, there are two ways of actually accessing the order book. There's one which is a limit buy or sell, and there is another which is a market buy or sell. Okay, limit buys and sells will just sit here. These are all limits buys, okay, and these are all limit sells, okay, and they wait for the price to come to you. So there's someone at the moment who's waiting for the price of $54,950 before they get their trade executed. Okay, if the price falls that low, they will be executed automatically. If the price doesn't, then they won't be. Okay, it's pure and simple as that. However, if I wanted to enter right now at 55,000, I would need to do a market buy. Okay, I'm going to execute that now. Okay, so I'm going to look to buy as much as I possibly can using this exchange. So I've got $94.37, and I'm going to buy as much Bitcoin as I possibly can at the live price. I'm going to try and get something just underneath 55,000, and I'm going to execute that now. Okay, so that's done. Okay, that's straight in the market, and immediately now I have my Bitcoin. I'm going to look at the order history just to see what price I got. Okay, I got a really nice price actually, 54,968, because the price dropped just before I pulled the execution trigger, and that's actually resulted in a nice drop for me. So in actual fact, I'm already in profit. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to market sell. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing, drag the tool across to the 100 and just sell my Bitcoin. I'm going to wait until the price maybe goes over 50, the price I bought it for. Okay, so it's currently around about the price I bought it for. Ideally I'd get something over the 55,000, but again, because of the order book, that might actually be a liquidity zone that is going to struggle. Look at that. So there's 14 almost 14 Bitcoin there. So you know what I'm going to do? Actually going to do a limit sell. Okay, and I'm going to set my limit sell just below the 55,000 with that big order. Okay, so I'm going to set it for 54,990. Now obviously the price has just dropped considerably. Okay, so it might be a little while before we actually get that order filled. Okay, but I'm going to sell my BTC there, and you'll notice that there has been an open order created at 54,990. Okay, and that will now sit there until it is filled. Okay, so obviously the live price is going to jump around all over the place and potentially go back up towards 55,000, in which case my order will be filled. Okay, so if I wanted to just get out of the trade, if say for example I had a stop loss and it was, you know, this kind of region, I would say, okay, just cut the trade here, I want to be out. Okay, and that would cut my trade at the first available price, which is presently around about the 54,800 region. Okay, now don't be alarmed by the dramatic price movements of this. Okay, remember we've got a low of 53,222 and a high of 55,460. So we've got a really nice, you know, $2,000-3,000 movement on a 24-hour basis. So just because the price starts going lower like this doesn't necessarily mean it's going to stop or stay here. It could very rapidly ascend to your take profit, which is why I didn't do a market sell, because I wasn't confident that I was actually going to get the price that I would ultimately be profitable with. And notice, as soon as I decided not to market sell, the price dropped by over $100. Okay, so I'm just going to let this sit there for a little while. I'm going to watch the price and I'm going to see if I get filled. I'm not going to do this in real time because it might take a little while, but I'm going to watch the price over the next couple of minutes to see. And obviously already notice the price is climbing nicely. It's rebalancing. It's back into the 54,900 territory. We may even get some nice big buys to push us closer to our limit sell. And actually we can start to see that there. But if I continue to watch the price like this, we'll probably be here all night, in which case I don't want to take too much of your time. So what I'll do is I'll continue to watch the price, and as soon as we start getting near or close to it, I will reactivate this video. Okay, so we've started to climb nicely. We're at 54.6872 at the moment, climbing very nicely. Probably going to hesitate around the 55,000 region, but I'm expecting that order to get filled any second now. And because it's under that big order at 55,000, it'll probably get filled if we decide to cross over that barrier. Okay, I feel that my limit is actually nice and comfortable at 54,990. Obviously it's not the biggest trade in the universe, but I'm just doing it to demonstrate this point. And notice how quickly the market has moved. In actual fact, it's only been a couple of minutes since I actually stopped the previous video, and I'm hoping that the price is going to climb nicely and we're going to get our order filled, and then I can, make a couple of dollars profit effectively whilst demonstrating the market sell and the limit buy effectively. There we go, nicely, perfect. Okay, so that's been filled. Okay, and notice how we've rebounded pretty quickly from that. We've still got 11, 13, 12 Bitcoin at 55,000, so it's going to take quite a lot of effort to go through that. We're probably going to bounce off here for a little while. I would fully expect us to actually drop now back down to the 54,900 mark perhaps. But if I look at my order history, you can see I had a buy at 54,968. I had a sell at 54,990. I made just over $1, so I can now celebrate and retire on that. So that's brilliant. But yeah, I hope that demonstrates now the importance of setting your liquidity buys just underneath important prices. In actual fact, we have now smashed through that. Okay, so traders hindsight is kicking in, and I should have kept my trade in longer. It's always the way. But effectively, you can now buy and sell using market and limit buys and sells. Okay, remember, limits are always going to be cheaper for you than markets, but markets get you in and out very, very quickly and are kind of price indiscriminative. So you don't really care about the price, you just want to get in the market and you want to make money as quickly as possible because the market is moving quicker than you can set limits. There have been situations in the past where I have set limits that have really been close. I mean, we're talking, cents in terms of 0.01 cent, in fact, sometimes. And the limit doesn't get filled because, remember, someone has to be willing to trade the opposite of what you're doing in order for your limit to get filled. So if I was buying Bitcoin, okay, at 55,000, there must be someone willing to sell Bitcoin at 55,000. If there's no one willing to sell at that price because the entire market is bullish, then my order will not get filled. There is also the tricky situation of stop loss hunting going on, okay? So where people will actually isolate their limits around stop losses to actually detect and find liquidity, because obviously a stop loss at the end of the day is just a limit sell, okay, or a limit buy for a short, okay? It's just the opposite kind of trade for that environment, okay? So you need to be really careful around liquidity zones to make sure that your stop loss is appropriate and isn't providing someone else with the liquidity that they need to trade, okay? So that's kind of a more advanced topic that we can perhaps discuss in a future video. But at the moment, I hope that you've seen and felt inspired, and look, now we're dropping quite comfortably by the market buy and limit sell, two demonstrations of how to get into cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin, and get out again and make a small profit in the process.